Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the HackerNoon podcast. Today we are with Noonies nominee Nataraj Sindam. Nataraj is a Microsoft engineer, entrepreneur, and podcast creator, and he is nominated as HackerNoon Contributor of the Year for Business Strategy. How's it going, Nataraj? Thanks very much for joining us today.
Hey, Limarc, it's going good. Pleasure to be here with you today, and always happy to be part of anything HackerNoon does. I'm excited to do this.
Yeah, thanks very much. So, I'm a fan of yours actually, and I've read your articles. One of my favorite articles of yours was about the freemium model. So you published this on HackerNoon, and it was called "The Freemium Model's Reciprocation Effect." I don't want you to go into too much detail, just because it'll take you a while to talk about the entire article. But could you briefly tell our listeners what that was about?
So today, freemium is pretty synonymous with subscriptions, right? We are in the world of subscriptions, everything, Netflix, whatever you're watching, to whatever you're listening, to whatever you're working on, whether it's a software that you want to use, whether it's Canva, or whether if you want to edit a podcast on Descript, you're basically subscribing.
Yeah.
But before we subscribe to any of those, we actually are given a free version of the software to use without any charge. And this phenomenon has become main go-to-market strategies for all kinds of software services today. And I think there's a deep psychological effect why freemium models actually are very effective in acquiring customers in any line of product. And it is very deeply psychologically rooted, and this is something called as reciprocation effect. What it means essentially is, let's say Nataraj, give Limarc
Mm-hmm.
a gift, right? And what it says, the reciprocation effect essentially says that you feel indebted to me in some way to return that favor. So what happens in freemium model is, let's say when Netflix is giving us a 1 month or a 2 month free subscription, you're psychologically feeling an indebtedness towards Netflix as a company. And if you like the product, you are more likely to subscribe to it for a product which is giving you freemium versus for a product which doesn't give you freemium.
Yes.
And obviously, this is not just the one reason, but it is such a driving and such an overtly psychological reason that, and we see this effect in a lot of places. I mean, this is one of those psychological shortcuts that we often take as human beings, because we
Yep.
develop these shortcuts over time, which will help us in your rapid decision. This also helps, marketing folks and, go-to-market theorists and customer acquisition teams to think about how can we use these psychological effects to actually, better acquire customers. And the idea originally for this reciprocation effect came from a book called Influence by Robert Cialdini. And I would suggest, if anyone who's into product development or marketing, if anyone is curious about psychology, they should read Influence by Robert Cialdini. And
Cool.
that's where the original idea came. And
Yeah, there's also a business aspect to it now, because freemium has become so commonplace that weirdly it's more professional to have a freemium version than not to. And I think one of the reasons for that is, if a company is confident enough in their product that it's really good and they're willing to give it away for free for a short period of time or whatever, it shows that they have so much confidence that either you're going to buy it after, or you're going to keep using it somehow, or you're going to pay for it in some form. Oppositely, if you have a product, like you said, that wasn't freemium, people might be more reticent to even try it, because you have to pay to try it, and if you don't like it in the end, you wasted your money, right?
yeah. I mean, definitely the advantage with freemium, and I've obviously pointed this in my article, is that the customer can try out the product first before paying. That's a big aspect, because that's a must before the customer can make a decision.
Yeah.
But obviously, the psychological effect is also plays a significant role.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right.
And the psychological effect, I think, is really strong. Like, one of the examples you used in your article was Fortnite, which I played way too much time on. And I think for the teenagers or even the adults that play Fortnite, what happens is, after they played for a few months, they think, oh, I've played this game for 100 hours for free. Normally, I would pay $80 for such a game. Why don't I pay $10 to buy this little skin for my character? And they keep having that psychological effect in their mind. And sooner or later, they ended up spending $200 on the game. So in some sense, freemium could get your company more money than you originally would, giving the product away at a set cost.
Yeah, I see this trend growing because there's a slight difference in model, right? Like there's an evolution in freemium model itself. Like previously, let's say you take the example of Netflix. You either after using your free service, you are becoming a payment service, or you're not using the service.
Yes.
But there are side of the products which into which Fortnite falls, is where you have a free version of product you continuously use, which is resulting in these microtransactions within the platform or the service, which is actually generating probably more revenue than a subscription would actually generate. And
exactly,
I think Fortnite is a perfect example for that. And you can also see this in Canva, which is making designing anything and everything so easy. They have the free version, but if you wanted to slightly differentiate your design and bring that extra edge to your design, you have to buy the components that make up the design, and then you feel like wondering why do I buy 5 components? Instead, I pay $10 and take the premium version. So
exactly,
it is also a way to divert or promote the premium version of your product.
Definitely. Thank you for watching the HackerNoon podcast. This was part 1 of a multi-part podcast with Nataraj. Please stay tuned and subscribe to HackerNoon for future episodes, and take a look at the show notes for links to Nataraj's social media profiles. Thanks, and see you next time.